Once upon a time, there was a village in a far-off land. Its villagers were an industrious, stalwart people who went about their lives day to day, working to build the world around them. But all was not well with the town. On the outskirts of the land there lived a powerful giant who stalked the villagers and struck fear in their hearts. Many had tried to resist the creature, but the creature had always prevailed. Finally, some in the village decided the only way to overcome the monster was to leave their beloved home and strike out on their own. They headed west to lands unknown and built for themselves a new home, a new village, and began a new life. Little did the people realize that they had not escaped. The ferocious beast had pursued them. When the people discovered this, they had resolved themselves to a single course of action. If they were ever to be free, they would have to defeat the monster once and for all. So the villagers surveyed the land around them and began to plan their attack. But then something happened there they did not expect. They stumbled upon another creature in their new home. This creature was still young and small, but it was tough nonetheless. Having matured quickly, it befriended the villagers and agreed to fight for them against the more powerful monster. Emboldened by the tenacity of their new ally, the villagers marched out onto the battlefield and faced the mighty beast. After a long and terrible battle, and against all odds, the old oppressive giant, who had hunted them for so long, was beaten. The people rejoiced. The land had been liberated. They were now free to live their lives without fear. Some, however, were not so jubilant. They pointed out that there was now a new creature among them. A young monster, but a monster nonetheless. What could they do with this little giant now within their midst? They couldn't destroy it, for it had been their ally. Besides, how could they know if there were other dangers lurking out there? The village leaders came together and took up this dilemma. After long debate, it was decided the best thing to do was to restrain the creature. That way it could exist with the people without endangering them the way the first one had. The people bound the giant in hopes that it could never threaten them. So long as the bonds were in place, the people were safe. But time has a way of eroding events, and as generations passed, some lessons that were meant to be handed down were forgotten. Memories of the first terrible beast were lost, and the children of the fathers scarcely noticed how much the second began to resemble its predecessor. Over the years it had grown in size and strength, and its restraints began to weaken. From time to time a voice would rise up among the people and warn them of the danger, but the warning went largely unheeded. Until one day, the creature broke free from its confines. Now it was no longer a small, hapless infant. It had become a huge, ferocious beast, bigger and even more powerful than the original monster that plagued the people. The villagers were stunned. They had always known the beast, but never considered it a danger. It soon became apparent, though, that the creature had a voracious appetite. Some had seen the danger and were willing to resist the monster, but the number was so few, the odds looked insurmountable. Now there was no new ally for the people to turn to. They were on their own. The only hope this time was to stand up to the beast themselves. And it is here that our story begins.